Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel BI with Pooja. As I promised in my previous video that I am going to start a series on the Power BI interview question and answer. So this is the first video of that series. So in this series I will cover the most commonly asked Power BI interview question along with the simple interview ready answer. So whether you are a fresher or you have a two or 2+ years of experience, this series will help you to build a confidence for your interviews. So without wasting any time, let's start with the question number one. So question number one is, what is Power BI and what are the components of a Power BI? So you can answer to this question like this. Power BI is a business intelligence and data visualization tool which is designed and developed by Microsoft. So in a simple words, it helps us to convert a raw data into a meaningful reports and the dashboards. So instead of looking at thousands or millions of rows in a Excel or in another database, Power BI can present that data, that information through a charts, through graphs and the videos, so that are much more easier to understand. So in a real project, data can come from the different sources like Excel, SQL Server, Oracle, SharePoint, or cloud application, because Power BI can connect 100+ data sources. So it helps us to connect to this data source, then prepare the data, then we can create the reports and help the business to make a smart or better decision. Now let's move to the component of a Power BI. So there are five components of a Power BI. Power BI desktop is where we build a report, where Power BI developer data analyst actually works to create reports. So they can connect to the data, they prepare it, and they create a dashboards. And Power BI service is an online platform where we publish, we share, and we refresh and we manage the reports. Now Power BI mobile, it allow the user to view their reports on their mobile phone or their in a tablets. Now Power BI gateway, it connects on the on-premise data with a Power BI service, so that reports can refresh automatically. Power BI report server, it is used by companies that want to keep their reports inside their own organization instead of using the cloud. So these are the five components work together to build, share and manage the Power BI reports. So now let's move to the question number two. What is the difference between Power BI desktop and a Power BI service? So this is the one of the most commonly asked interview question. Power BI desktop and Power BI service work together, but they have a different purpose. Power BI desktop is where we create a reports, we connect to the different data sources, we prepare the data and we build the report. Once everything is ready, our development is completed, we publish this report to the Power BI service. And Power BI service is a place where report can shared with the users. So it is also used to refresh the data automatically, manage the user access, collaborate with the team. For example, if I'm asked to create a sales dashboard, I will build that dashboard in a Power BI desktop. Once this is tested, validated, I will publish this report to the Power BI service, so the sales team can access it online. So in a simple line, Power BI desktop is used to build a report and Power BI service is used to publish, share and manage that report. Okay, so now let's move to the question number three. What is the difference between calculated column and the measure? Again, this is the most frequently asked interview question. So the easiest way to remember this is, calculated column gives you a value for each row in a table. A measure gives you the result only when it is used in a report. So we need to use the measure in a card or in another visual, so we can see the value of that measure. So for example, if you want to label each sales as an high profit, low profit, or a medium profit. So you will use the calculated column because every row needs its own value. But if you want to display the total sale that change when the user select the different years or a region via filter or a slicer, then you will need to make use of a measure. So just remember, calculated column is for the row level value and measure is used for a dynamic calculation. So interviewer can ask you the follow-up question after this, like which one is better in a performance. So you can answer, whenever possible, I will prefer a measure because they keep the report more efficient. I use a calculated column only when I need a value for each row. Yeah, this is about the question number 3. Now let's move to the question number 4. What is bookmark, edit interaction, and page navigation? So before I answer this question, I just wanted to mention one thing. This series is more focused on the interview preparation. So I am explaining this topic the way you should answer them in your interview. If you like me to come up with a practical video on this concept, let me know in a comment, so I will make a separate video on this topic because these three are the practical base topic. So now let's understand them one by one. Bookmark. So bookmark is used to save a particular view of a report. For example, you can create a button to show or hide or filter pen with a single click. Edit interaction, it can allow us to control how the one visual should behave when another visual is selected. For example, you can choose whether the another chart should change or should remain the same. Now, page navigation, it is allow the users to move between report pages using the button instead of page tabs, so making the reports look cleaner and the more professional. Yeah, this is about the question number 4. Let's move to the question number 5. What is the difference between sum and sumx in a Power BI? So the difference is actually very simple. Sum adds the value from the existing column and sumx first perform the calculation for each row and then adds those calculation value together. Let's understand with the example. If your table already has a sales amount column, then use a sum. But if your table has a column like quantity and unit price, so you need to first calculate unit price into quantity for each row and then the total using the sumx. So if interviewer asks you whether sum can replace the sumx, so you can answer yes. If the value already exists in a column, sum is enough, but each row needs a calculation before adding the value, then you should use the sumx. This is the correct choice. So these were the top 5 L1 interview questions that you should definitely prepare before your interview. I hope this video help you understand the concept in a simple way. Also, let me know in a comment which Power BI interview question you would like me to cover next. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.